All right, welcome back to The Count. We are counting down the major stories of the week. I'm John Bachman. Down to story number 2, we're talking about Trump's legal battles. On Friday, Judge Tanya Chutkan made a series of rulings with regard to former President Trump's trial on those charges related to January 6th. She ruled that Trump will be allowed to comment on witnesses, but will not be able to comment on witness testimony, specifically what they're saying. Let's bring in distinguished professor at Touro University, Thane Rosenbaum. Also with us, trial attorney and host of the Barack Lurie Show, the man himself, Barack Lurie. Gentlemen, great to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks, John.
All right, Thane, first to you. Break down this ruling for us from the judge and whether or not it benefits President Trump, or you think it's even fair.
So, John, she essentially says, look, I get it. You have a First Amendment right to speak. I understand that. But you don't have a First Amendment right to threaten and intimidate witnesses and to expose sensitive, what she calls sensitive materials, sensitive evidence, whether it's grand jury transcripts or the list of witnesses or what witnesses might say. So she's probably saying, if you want to, say what you said about Jack Smith last week, about if you come after me, I come after you, or if you want to call Jack Smith deranged, we don't care. But if you want to threaten Mike Pence, who is definitely going to testify in this case, and intimidate him, that we're not going to permit. The second thing she said that was interesting was, I treat your presidential campaign as a day job. I'm not giving you any special courtesy because you're running for the presidency. That's on your own time, which is very interesting because, he's making the argument, President Trump's lawyers, that this is really about his First Amendment rights and that the case itself is about depriving his First Amendment rights. And she's saying, yeah, now if you're speaking out of turn, I'm going to stop you from speaking, even though you have a right to political advocacy under the First Amendment.
Yeah.
Well, the January 6th committee, Barack, they just so happened to conveniently destroy evidence which could be used to exonerate protesters and President Trump. Here is what President Trump had to say about that when he sat down with Eric Bolling this week.
Now that we have the subpoena power, because we now have subpoena power, all of a sudden the J6 committee, the unselects I call them, everything was deleted and destroyed. The documents, everything was deleted and destroyed. That's a criminal act.
Yeah.
Barack, this is the worst thing that happened to this country since Pearl Harbor. You think they'd want to retain this information?
Yeah, it's the worst thing since Hiroshima and 9/11 and the Revolution and Civil War combined. Look, you would think they could retain it, but they don't want to retain it because there might be some exonerating evidence, like they have already had with some of the J6 prisoners that had to be released because they saw that they did not do the things that were alleged against them. And I think very similarly, you'll see the same thing with Trump as well. Destroying evidence, generally speaking, is really, really bad, not only in a criminal case, but also in a civil case. And so this is going to really help the defense for Trump, to say nothing of the First Amendment issues that we've discussed, certainly on the January 6 issues. Look, I mean, he said everyone should go peacefully and patriotically protest. That is, not only is he speaking, which is a First Amendment invocation, but also about the right of assembly, which is, again, another First Amendment invocation. So I think that the government has a very big problem here. One last thing I'll say, when the judge was saying that he's not allowed to threaten Pence and such like that, it's an absurd thing. These are things that everyone is not allowed to do. So to write this down as if it's somehow unique to Trump, and this is something that he has to follow, well, that's true for every single case. You're not allowed to witness tamper. You're not allowed to threaten anybody else. That goes without saying. But they make it seem as if somehow there's a compromise here and Trump is being restricted somehow.
All right, gentlemen. Barack Lurie, Thane Rosenbaum, we got to cut it off there. We're out of time, but great to have you both here. Thanks so much.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.